And we are live. Hello, everybody, again. Welcome to my Monday stream. My name is Jan Vorak, aka Storyteller or Storyteller CZ. Let me actually go here full screen right now. Apologies, just came out of a scam attack on myself. So that was that. Not really super pleasant, especially since it used or kind of the hook was Meteor and my open source work. So I think it might be actually increase a lot since we have Oktoberfest coming in soon. So let me get everybody online here. So what is the stream about today? The title is, let me get it directly. Yeah, or like completely so that I don't mess it up. Static web pages with Meteor.js. That's the title. That's what we'll be looking at. I'll be starting with some of my pull requests that I have in this regard that should improve some things, or at least kind of separate things. So kind of revisiting my old work. And then we look how much we can get around with Meteor without using any front-end framework. I have no idea how this is going to go, so that's going to be interesting experiment today by itself as well. So we will see how and where I can manage to do. So let me make the final send on Slack, and let's look here is it's just actually an interesting thing, but not related to us. So let me get situated around here as we get started. Okay, I will need WebStorm shortly. How is everybody doing? Where are you guys watching from? Let me know in the chat so that I know it's not just bots watching me, which sometimes is quite common. And let me all right. Let's get started with this. There we go. First things first, let's go to Meteor Docs and do a quick review what we have for option. We'll go to command line, and we want to look at, of course, Meteor create, and we'll be going with bear. And it goes create an empty Meteor app with Blaze and MongoDB to create a complete app to implement follow Blaze tutorial. So this is where we'll be starting. I don't think we have anything. Actually, there's only minimal. So runtime, node stop, Meteor, Signifier, CSS, ECMAScript, TypeScript, static HTML, web apps. Okay, so we actually will go even with minimal. So we don't want even Blaze. So that will be our target. So we'll do here Meteor create minimal. And let's see, let's call it Meteor dash aesthetic. Let's go with that using the minimal skeleton. As that goes, how is everybody doing? Please let me know in the chat. Where are you watching from? So that I know I am not just here with bot alone. So we have the minimal one. Let me open up. Where is my web storm? And Meteor static. So Meteor static. This window, so I can move it over. And we have that. And I want to check before we really get started into, I have this older. Oh, strange, it was only my only PR, but that was exactly what I needed. So I have here move needed files for static HTML into static HTML tools from Blaze Tools. Oh man, that's going to be quite a hassle to resolve. And this is because, there's an overlap, and which I don't think is necessary, especially if you are doing this minimalistic approach and really trying to have pretty much almost nothing here, even. It's actually also very interesting because I doubt that people barely use on page load any of these things. Let us check again here. Back here we have stuff. Meteor, static HTML, standard minifier, ES5 shims, ECMAScript, TypeScript, shell server. We have web app and server render. Let's quickly do the obligatory updates of dependencies. Of course, there is some. Meteor node stubs is quite an old version here in the minimal one. We might have to do a PR, or if you're watching and want to kind of do PR, actually, since we have Oktoberfest coming up super soon, let me actually check if they have already opened the registration. Yes, so let's register myself here. There we go. And what's my experience level? I am super experienced. I've done this for years. I'm going to run with code, maybe non-code. I will see how things go next month. I am not a student. I am a full stack developer. Wait, I actually can go over here as well for founder, country. Everybody knows I'm from not Cyprus, almost Czechia. And oh yeah, sure, they can send me email, and of course I have to get all these things. So yeah, yes, would be nice if it was kind of following maybe through the entire year, but that's kind of what GitHub statistics are for. So everybody, Hacktoberfest registration is open. So get in there. Maybe you might hold some event next week with Meteor. There will be maybe this or next week there will be office hours. So definitely something that we can talk. So if you want to get started, definitely a good time to get ready because you can at least get some goodies for participation and everything. So that will be Oktoberfest. So I will actually be holding off on quite a few of my PRs. And we have here first response from Next, coming from France. Viva la France. Hello there. So the focus now that we have that done is back to our static pages and see kind of how what we can do with this, how we can minimize it to a minimum, make it hopefully as fast as possible, and then revisit this old PR and see how we can or cannot move it forward. So, oops, no, damn it, I just closed something outside that I did not want to close. But hopefully I can quickly reopen it, yes. So let me get this ready, and now that we have this, Meteor npmi, have this done. What I would like to try to get is to have not just one page, but maybe a few pages, and if we can navigate between them. Let me guys know how is the screen for you. You can see it good enough, or if I should increase it. So we have some tests here. We have the main. I will probably be utilizing the web app and the router in there to see how things go. One option is actually that we can return stuff from to the web app and kind of work with it similarly to Hono, or like how we would normally use with Express apps, because that's pretty much what we reduced Meteor down to. But I'm gonna see what we can do with the defaults too. So this will be a lot of learning for myself as well. Of course, one option is that we can create here the public directory in which we can then place images and all that stuff. But we have here the minimal things. Let's remove the learn Meteor. We have here the render target that comes in, and we have the console log here. So this will be included in everywhere, but let's just keep it like this, and let's get started. And maybe we should, and this will be from, let me grab this from Literary Universe. Let's see, because I have a script to test locally. So let's remove the open. Let's remove the port because we want 3000. We don't have settings for this, but let's add here the exclude arch for both. And this way we have, I can then go and reference the local Meteor installation or development installation that I have locally by actually going to the address. This is like this older directory, and in there is a file called Meteor. I can do that, and I call run. So like I would just do Meteor run, or just I can, even without run, that's the default call, so I could just run it. Then the usual stuff. And now that I have in the scripts here, I can just do npm run start, and I'm happy camper. As it loads, let's look at the versions. There's still a lot, and we see here there's Blaze tools here. And I do remember, at least from the PR I did, that there's just like only 1 or 2 functions that are needed from Blaze tools, which I want to move to static HTML, because static HTML also gets included pretty much in every project, so that we don't have to include the Blaze tools and everything else that it depends on. So a bit of a decoupling of it, so it will make it easier for non-Blaze applications and for static page applications like this one. So that will be probably the second half, I think, that we'll go into. So up running on localhost, I expect it to be super fast. We've got the server time there and everything else going as well. If I go into the console, there will be greetings from main. Interestingly here, uncaught typer can read properties of undefined underscore stream in DDP injector. We'll have to debug this. That should not happen. I think it might be this might be something that doesn't appear often, especially on when you have front-end frameworks or stuff like that. So now we have the main and index. The big thing is that, for example, would like to add HTML file about this app. Let's just set it up here about this. So sure, download model. I don't care. Problem though is that even though we have added it here, the only thing that we get out of the default from client is client main.js, which is this thing, which greetings from client main.js. And that doesn't do really for us anything. So we would need some sort of a router here. So it will also load the main HTML. And of course, this as well. So let's see. For like just to check. So if we do about.html, can set doc types. Ooh. Let's see. Actually, this is interesting. I don't think even HTML is something that will be allowed. Okay. Well, maybe I will be pleasantly surprised that about this app. Let's see, and then it adds everything else. That's not. Oh, look at that. So what we see here, what has happened, is just put everything together. So that's not really what we want. If we move public over here into the public, sorry, and okay, let's return all these things back. That was maybe too much. It's like that. Now we moved it into public. So what it's going to do is going to disappear from here. If I go about the, let's just normal about just gets me back there. If I do HTML, then that will load the page. So one way that you can deal with this to get completely static pages, you put everything under public and you deal with it as it was, during the age of HTML before PHP and all the other server things really came around. So that's one way how you can do static pages. Kind of wondering now what if I do here index. Let me try to put this onto the index.html. Oops, I put it in the wrong folder. Public, yes, refactor. Or actually, I'll just put this in here in the body. What do I if this ends up here? And my main HTML is minimized. Okay. We go to index, then we get the index there. We don't get any styles, and we don't get the insert from the server. So this is good experience. So if you want to get styling, all that stuff included, it needs to be in the client, or at least kind of underneath it. And so here, not test, I don't want to test right now. So if we go back here to server, we have here on page load, we have a sync, render into element by ID. So that's that. Let's look at if I can find over here. Let's go back to docs and I'll have to check. Here we go, packages. Let's look at server render, what we have. Here we have append to head, append to body, append to element by ID, render into element by ID. I think this is like render into element by ID and similar. We have redirect. Set status code, set header, get headers, get cookies. So this, kind of like render into element by ID. That's used if you use server-side rendering with here with React, and on the similarly on the client. I can use it on client. So on server, involving the styled components and PM package. Okay, no, so this is on server. So streaming HTML, render, that's for React 16. And it generally acts as a general kind of like bit around web app. Web app kind of making some certain things potentially easier. So I don't think we'll be able to unless I start doing like my own build tool for this, I don't think we'll be able to kind of put it into the client. Well, that's also what we want for performance as well. So what it comes down to, before we get Blaze into all of this, even with Blaze, that's kind of what we see there, what we've seen here with like the minimal page. If we had before the about page, it kind of put in there. This is kind of what's actually happening with Blaze underneath. Blaze pretty much kind of gets everything together, and then from the template determines what actually to display. This is what the router does as well. So it comes down to a router of some sort, which in this case, if we don't have like this, is our web app, which I'll kind of get. So it will be import web app from Meteor web app. And on pager load, it's not really necessarily something we'll try to reproduce, I'm thinking. So let's do web app dot handlers dot use. We have request response. Response dot. It's been such as again a little bit. No help here. That's probably something we have to fix. But if you want to know what's actually going on here, we can go to the Express docs. So we have here the request, and we have here the response. So we have attend, and so on. Have here render view, and send the rendered view HTML string to the client. Part locals, subject whose provides define local variables for the view. Callback function. Let's see. If a call back is specified, the rendered HTML string has to be sent explicitly. I find interesting. So a render HTML. So if we do on the about response.send, hello from the lovely server. And now we go over here. About, we have here hello from the lovely server. But interestingly enough, I think we don't have the HTML here. So we don't have any even no headers or anything. like that. Let us see. Do we have display block margin 8 pixels? But I do believe in our CSS we have padding 10 pixels, not the margin. Oof. Well, that's not going really how I wanted. You can do this, then you can, and then you would need to put in the default. Apologies, I'm somehow got really sleepy right now. Oh, we have Lori here there in the from the weekend tier here as well. Hi, Lori. Let's see. So that's a bit of a problem. That's why we have front-end frameworks, because what we really are getting here at sending from the server is very kind of just like super basic. And we have here the render. It's like a view. So so it means there must be using template engines with Express. That's what we are looking for. But one is looking like to add in handlebars, POC, EGS, and whatnot. So now we have, response render index, and you put in some stuff. So that's how it used to be. But sadly, that's not what we want. This is kind of what I'm referencing this to, or what I did quite a few months back, probably at the beginning of the year, was Hono, which is kind of similar to Express, but it's much more. It has JSX and all the other things that you can really pretty much build your own React there and everything without any problem. So apologies. Lot of interesting things here. And yeah, not really sure how to put it. I'll have to probably do again another thing. If I, for me, just kind of to step back a little bit, if I have to probably choose today to build something new, I would go with Solid instead of React. And in the future, I might be actually splitting off the front end for Later Universe into its own more thing, something that's faster than Meteor, and it's just like primarily for reading. But even then, it's very tough because there it's Meteor you have for a lot of things. So maybe what I'll do is we'll have a specific only for the reader, where you can only read. But even then, we will have to iframe in there somehow the comments and other dynamic elements. Maybe the other way around, though. We have like the reader, which will be just the text to read and manage, and that's kind of waste. We'll have to see how things go with scaling and other things if we get there. So, but that's kind of Hono, and Express is. Well, I think this is like really not used today when you have React and all that stuff. So that's a bit of a pickle for us. Of course, we have here the server render. And you would somehow have to figure out how to append the basic, how should I said, how to append the CSS and potentially even JavaScript to what we sent. I think for that, especially if you kind of want to keep everything as simple as possible, like we are with Blaze, but only with HTML. But we already seen that you would need some sort of a router. We said we did a quick test that, of course, if we put it into public, then it works. But then again, we lose the benefit of having it under client as well. So what I'm thinking now is that in a roundabout way, we are going to quickly jump to my PR, update that, make sure that we don't have, so we can actually merge from latest develop. And then we are going to run Meteor from checkout. And through that process, we are going to go into the internals of Meteor and figure out if there is something we can adjust, touch, that would make it possible to do what we want to, or at least figure out how it works underneath all of that. Obviously, this is very non-standard approach to use with Meteor. If you want to actually build static web pages, you obviously go for, should I say it? You go for frameworks and technologies that are more suited to it. Meteor is very much for dynamic applications, real-time applications. So this is like really trying to force, trying to force it to do something that it's not the best for or designed for. Because we saw if you can just like put everything into the public, and at the end of the day, you have no JS server, and not actually even that. You just have like a default. You just have a default, HTML page without anything going in, because if when it's in public, it's automatically treated as a asset and doesn't apply anything to it. It's just, it treats it like an image. So let's see, features, static HTML tools. I will have to find it here. Let me get devel. And I need to clear up my space. Was this pull request merged? Looks like it. Must have been must have completely missed that merger. Maybe not. Oh no, it was merged. Yup. So one less thing I can keep locally makes me happy. And we set static HTML tools. Okay, it got checked out, but it did not take me there, which indicates it has beyond the limit of where I have for like the history here. So I need to do this manually. Oh, missed it. Static HTML tools, merge. And of course we have the conflict. So first package version. Oof. This does. Oh, are we already on beta? This looks wrong. But static HTML. Oh, because it's a build plugin which you need to do manually. So let us do here Meteor show. So quickly find out what ECMAScript version is the latest. Well, first of all, we kind of, and in this case, actually, I removed the templating tools. So it's going to be 16.9. So we'll make the adjustments here for this. Caching HTML compiler. We'll be looking into that. So let's check what version we have here. Version 1 or version 2. I think you will have to choose version 2 here for that, but it's nothing. And here we should be just able to get away with just implying Meteor. Let's see. Okay. Dynamic imports, packages. You can get away with it from devel, but that's going to get updated automatically. Back in Meteor 2.73 days, I did this. And we get here to release none. Okay, tests modified on but they on devel. So if it's deleted, we delete it. And here we go with the dependencies that are up to date. Not sure why there's package JSON there. Let's go with here. Can we open Blaze? And let's see. I think we can just be happy to go with Grandmaster. Yes, so commit and merge. That's a big, what you see there is all the changes that we have since Meteor probably 2.7. So let me get my password. Merged, push. And of course, we'll see it here to start running things. And let's take a look on what we have here comparatively. That's a lot of things. Oh, yes. I now remember how I manage this. So I just created a new package called static HTML tools. So it can also be imported in Blaze as well without having to import static HTML or something around that logic, I believe. So what this means is that I actually have to now go in, compare these in Blaze itself. And yes, compare it in Blaze itself to see how it has changed for Meteor 3, which should hope not be hopefully too dramatic. Some asyncs here and there. Let's open up Meteor in a new window because I'll be kind of going back and forward on this. And that was for the generators. Now we are back in here, and let's scroll down to static HTML tools. Let's take a look here what we have. Now then, are we here? I think it's just a package, so we should not really have to have these versions here. It will automatically be taken as the newest. Everything we have Lodash is empty, but version 4.4. Let us quickly check over here. Still version 4.4, 8 years on. We have even types here. So at least that is fine for us. So we have this, and we have to find where we have Blaze here, packages. How is Blaze categorized as a non-core? So I think I'm taking this here from caching HTML compiler. And yes, caching HTML compiler. I'm taking this entire thing, and let's see, what am I doing here? Lodash is empty. Using pad, which is coming from plugin.pad. Not sure about that. Just doing that to be sure. I'm doing a bit more newer syntax, doing the export. Okay, let's start comparing one by one. Constructor is the same. Yes, nothing interesting. And okay, let me just go and copy this entire class so that we can compare. I think it might be a bit smaller. There are a few changes. And this is where GitKraken comes in to tell us what has changed. Okay, so spacing, anonymous functions. We have some stuff here. I'll just say, just simplified version. More stuff here. I don't see right so far. Yes, so nothing really changed here except slight modernization. Woohoo. Now the next up in our tools is HTML scanner. So maybe with the caching HTML compiler, what I wanted to check here, what the issue is, that it uses templating tools. And I think I've gotten around to it by importing those things into through here. That was the, I think that might have been, the throw compiler error might have been the other thing that it has been using from the templating tools. Where was it used? Compile error. Wait, why isn't it used? No, it's being used. It's template. You can see here templating tools.compile error. So I need to do it here. I just do instance of compile error. That way I remove that dependency altogether, and that's the throw compile error coming from here. And yes, that's once again, it was templating tools. So you look at templating tools, there's quite a few things there, and they have here just this throw compile error. I can just try copy here, and that has not changed. So just because of I want to only have access to this error, I don't want to have the entire package with all the other things included. Actually, I'm seeing I will probably need HTML scanner as well. Yes, HTML scanner. So with the tests. So that should be my next target. HTML scanner. Can throw compile error, and I think that's kind of like the only thing it accesses. There's a few changes here, but looks like it's just still the same code. The tests, though, I think let's see. There might be a bit more changes, just a few. And just a name, but I think then I have, looking at this, I will probably have to include, yes, API use. I'm including templating tools. in the list here of packages to get. And here we go. This is it. So that should be it. Let's see what. So what changed here? I'm not seeing anything worth mentioning. So let's see. Not really even here, maybe like this, just to keep things kind of the same. Just to line things up. The rest I can just disregard. Here in the HTML scanner, am I blind or just not seeing it? Just do this just to be on the safe side. Here you can see, I think it might be doing, checking it's not, for Blaze. So this is actually the error we got before. Here, can set doc type here. Meteor says doc type HTML for you. That's the error we got there. So well done. Okay, so this we disregard. And here in the caching compiler, we made that fix earlier. Has on property call, and we can just put all of that there. Now, this is kind of like the first step, because once we have this package, then we can kind of reduce the other package in Blaze as well from the same function. So that was the plan all along. So let us take a quick look here. We have any tests? Wait, there was an update from Devil already. Who did that? Danielson. And that's just documentation. So we are not going to be merging that because, why waste time, test times on that? So we have, of course, merged from Devil, and the tests are failing. So I have a question here from Lori. When pack templates can be used with Express.js and Meteor uses Express.js, can Meteor use pack template? I would say the answer is yes. Big thing with that is not really how to use Meteor, but yes, you can use pack templates, and that would be, though, for the server returns, you can use that if you wanted to. Yeah, if you kind of want to like a render independent page, again, as we saw in it before, that if it's like in public, or if you just do a response from the server, that's completely independent of anything. And I think there's actually quite a few good reasons why those things are independent of what you have in the client folder. First of all, for example, if I am returning a JSON or something like, or XML, for example, an RSS feed. You don't want to load the CSS there. You don't want to put in, like, for Meteor to put in, the head, the doc type, and all that stuff. That's just not what you want to do. So that's why you don't why you don't have it there. So if it's like something completely independent, like RSS feed, or maybe just a response based on like OAuth, or it can be a, usually those things, once you go into the Express site, all that stuff, you are going into building an API. So that's why those things are completely independent. The same thing with the public folder. That one is just for assets. So if you put HTML there, it's going to be treated as an image and not loaded everything else, which is good, because then you can, in theory, build like your static website there. The problem, though, is that you will have to have the .html in there, unless, let's see, maybe with Nginx you could change that, but I don't think you have by default access to that. Yeah, at least that's not something I have discovered yet in Meteor, how you could do that, because that kind of goes on to setting the server and that stuff. That's kind of what Galaxy does for you, and it's not something that's really done these days. Like the old days before Meteor and similar application. So old Meteor package, Jade works differently than Express.js pack. Yes, that would be my assumption. Because with Jade, that is front end, unless I'm missing something. So let's check atmosphere. Yes. Jade is like Blaze. It's a front end framework. So Jade works like Blaze. Nothing more. Nothing more there really special. Pug is strict, I think, or maybe not. For Pug, let me check Pug template thing. Pug.js. So it uses the same thing. Compile function. You can see this is the compile function. That's kind of what's used there in Express to put in things into there. I think you could potentially put Jade into the server on the Express side with the render as well. The thing there, though, is no. Actually, it has the the template.pog. So how is that? Okay, so you have the function that you passed in there, and let's see. No, so in React integration, use Pug templates to write React components. It's like latest 5 years up. 5 years ago. My God, 2019 was 5 years ago. I'm stuck in time. Something is wrong with me. Yeah, I don't think that, again. Why would you want to do that? That's kind of seems silly. And yeah, Express integration. Here we go. Blockchain is with Express, a Node.js web framework. As I supported View Engine, check out Express Excellence Guide how to interact with Express. So they have that here. Set View Engine Pug. index.pack in the views directory with the following content. So that's on the server under views. You would create the templates, and then you would do here render. In this case, just put index and put in the title, h1 message, and so on. So that's how it would work. Yes. So potentially, in theory, it should be able to get Blaze into it as well. It's not that much different. But there would be like other complication, because you would have, for those templates, you would have to kind of keep them separate from the client, and they would not get automatically again the CSS and other benefits there as well. So that's how that works. No, then let's quickly. Yikes! The tests are breaking. Not happy. We moved from fine test to breaking. Get ready failed. Or could it be something specific because I'm creating a new package? Or compile static HTML batch from cannot find package static HTML tools. Ooh, that's tough. Static HTML tools, so it cannot find the package. Yeah. Not sure why. That is something interesting I have made that happens in the test that I will have to look up at later. But let us do here, before I get to Lori's other question. Let us try to do here npm run start local Meteor, was it? Yes. So it will try to build it up from the local dispatch, and we can probably see from that, and we can probably also try to get down to the error we were getting. So let's reopen this and wait, what's our current setup? I kind of got lost there. We have here greetings, sorry, HTML. Oh yeah, and we did the about hello from Nobliser. Wait, that should not come here. We don't need that right now, so I'm just going to comment out and see if things will go back to normal. Because it's still starting, so it should not be returning me anything yet. And so static, I think big part of this is that if we go to Meteor here, static HTML, I've removed this, but I did not put in here static HTML tools to 1.0. Let me put that here, and see if that one helps to get us started. Take a while. It will probably take a little bit to realize that what has happened. So I'll answer a question from Lori. Can Meteor Blaze be rendered only at client or also at server? This goes to, let's just start here from like that. This goes to Blaze, or is it Blaze.js? Not sure if we do have. Let's jump to Blaze, and there might be SSR topic. I don't think anybody has really done that, but I think there might have been issue. Oh no, there is SSR. So some people do server-side rendering for Blaze as well. Here's the oldest one. So there was a SPR, SSR. Okay. That's an old from 2016. So template compilation on the server. But I think really Jan Kuster is going to know better on this if there is an option. Not sorry, really familiar with that. Actually, if you comment out and replace it with import body, we got SSR Blaze templates via React. Okay. So yeah, there is template.body.render to documents is never called on the server, but obviously that code shouldn't be bundled for the server either. A lot of changes there. So in favor of this one, compiling templates on server side. Also, it never got resolved. So let me ask your Juho if he got anywhere. So I think it should be possible. Can look again here. Let's look server. So we have template on server. Prove diffing. Add basic HTML integration into Blaze. No, so on the first look, it looks like it's not possible yet, but from the previous comments and like over here, well, it's not just discussion, but also PR attempt, it might not be as difficult as it seems. So yeah. But that's a missing feature. So Bug has the ability to be rendered on server. Jade potentially as well, but you have to kind of look on the documentation there. So we have, we are online. We are back in business. So let's move that all at missing or let's just do add. So static HTML2, static HTML, get it there, push, and that should hopefully get us the test passed. So look at that. So we have static HTML upgraded, static HTML tools added. I want to do check. I want to see we can remove without any issues the wait, or maybe that was removed already previous here. So started it did the updates, and so I need to figure out if we have any Blaze. We have Blaze tools still here. Why? So let's see, Meteor, remove Blaze tools. So what we will have to do, let's go to our package. Let's see, we want our local copy of Meteor to do the update. Upgrade it, add it. And it did not remove the Blaze tool, which I am, should remove. Upgrade it, add it, remove. Templating tools should be, well, actually quite a lot should be removed. Why didn't it? Six Blaze packages. I need to remove those packages. That's how we kind of slim down things even more. So we have your caching HTML compiler. Which one is that? Is it hopefully here? Ooh. No, caching compiler. This caching compiler. Caching HTML compiler is going to be over here. Yes, so I need to remove this one. Replace it with just the caching compiler, which is on version 2. So let's go with that. Now if I do the update, it has removed these projects. So yes, I was correct. Let's start local Meteor, and a big part of this, because you can see, there's just like extra packages that we don't need. We have here both client and server. Okay, oh, that's the server talking to me. Just realize how strange it is that we are saying, that's just server talking to me. Okay, now we have it completely here. We don't have the Blaze packages. Everything is still working. And let's see if we can reload. And we have here Mongo is not defined on inject. And before we said it was like something in DDP. So I think Mongo is not in the minimal defined. So let's go around and try to find where inject could be. Oops, no, something appeared there later on. Or it's searching. Do you recall there's something in DDP? So either DDP client, probably DDP client here. Let's see, Mongo. So a lot of stuff here with Mongo. Untested uses Mongo. So DDP common later on, but let's see here on the client if there is anything related to Mongo, which would explain. What is the error again? Mongo is not defined in Meteor adapter inject. Okay, I'm going to click it. Oh, Meteor DevTools. That's Meteor DevTools. Okay. So yeah, that's just because Meteor DevTools doesn't expect that you would have a Meteor application without Mongo. Let's be honest. Yeah, that's true. So we'll also explain why it's still minified. Sadly, the other DDP issue that we have is long gone. Or is this again inject? Again, Meteor DevTools. So false alarm. No more bugs to fix here. Use proper use just caching compiler so that we don't use Blaze packages. All right, everybody, I'll be probably wrapping this up soon with a few more experiments. Be sure, please, to leave a like or a heart if you are on Twitter. Or if you like to subscribe to me. I'm doing this every Monday, or almost every Monday, though there will be a change at the end of October. So especially if you're watching this in delay, let me know in the comments what better time would you like me to stream at, so that I can better accommodate you, because for the end of the year I'll be in Japan, so that will be that. And I will be making probably a special stream this weekend if things work, as I work on my presentation, though that might be limited only to my sponsors, so sponsors, friends, and other people. So be sure to also visit my GitHub sponsors right now. Here, link on the screens. Storyteller CZ, if you want to be part of helping me work on open source in general and support my journey to Japan to Open Source Summit, help me defer some of the costs, because it's not a cheap endeavor. So we have here so we have that. So quick reload, of course, not everything is the same here. So big part of it is a bit of a bummer that it's not easy to really build a website. We would have to have some sort of a static router. We cannot really have a page router. We would have to change how Meteor works. And that was not really point of this stream, because it's just, we don't want to add additional complexity or build new tools for stuff that Meteor is not made for. My hope is that the PR that we just kind of moved is going to help in kind of reducing dependencies numbers, which is great and very much appreciated. I think also a big part of this is that it will also help Blaze to reduce a bit of the maintenance burden, you can say, on that. And with reduced dependencies, less weight, because there's a lot of extra weight with the, as you see, 6 packages extra instead of 1, which has kind of only what you really need, because the Blaze one do a lot of extra work. So it should be, lighter and faster, hopefully, because less evaluation, all that stuff. And then we learn we can use the server render to put in things like server time in here, but then you get that it's only really just 1 page. So I kind of wonder what much of a use that's going to be, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, it's Meteor is not built for that, and you have better alternatives elsewhere. Hono in a sense as well. Laura is asking, what are alternative times for the show? I don't know yet, honestly. That's something that I will have to figure out, kind of to give you the timeline. I am flying there on Monday 21st. So show on, and I have the presentation on 29. The course is 28, 29. So those 2 weeks, I will only be on Meteor Dispatches on the 25th of October and first, and so that's Friday after that. Unless it's like super late, I should probably check. Let's quickly use this end here. So I have the word clock. No, where is my favorite tool here? World Time Buddy. Why is it giving me by default the 2 capitals that I'm not going to ever visit? So the show, my time, release preparation starts for me like at 2 o'clock. Show is here is like usually this. So for Tokyo, that's going to be pretty much 10 p.m. to midnight, or like 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, It just means that I will not have really much of a night out. So yeah, I will be doing that for my normal show. As you can see here, it would be for me 4 to 6. So 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Not going to happen. It's I can do it for the show like that, but doing that also then on Monday, that would be quite an annoyance, and you wouldn't get the best out of me. So let's add here a few more places. So we'll also have to New York. I don't think San Francisco is going to have any good time for that. So New York. Let me go with Tokyo here as the home base, so I have better view here. So if I do it, I can do probably 8 to 10. What do you guys think here? 8 to 10, which means it would be 1 o'clock in Central Europe, noon in London. Let's probably put that. Oh, I'm out of places to put in here. San Francisco, we can forget. It's like 4 in the morning. Let's put in here London right now so we can see it again, guys. Oops. Yeah, London it's 7. Sorry, not London. It's noon. Compared to, let's change this to Berlin so people kind of know. So if I can do 8 to 10 at night. So I think that covers quite a few time zones nicely. I think for Lori, let's do Helsinki. I think that's actually might be the same time zone. Yeah, that's the same. Almost. Oh no, so that's actually one more less. So it's even better probably for you potentially. So if I can do that, then we're looking noon to 2 in London, Helsinki 2 to 4, and New York in the morning. So I think that will be definitely the time. Yes, that will be the time. That will be the time I will go for. And now the only other thing that will remain for us to decide, and again, write in the comments if maybe some other day than Monday or Friday, if it would work for you guys better. I'm fully open to move the day if you want. And yeah, that's how I kind of will proceed. Potentially, I will stick to this date even after I come, or time after I come back from Japan, so that it's more accessible. Japan has a very, looking at this comparison, yes, for America, not a good time zone. So Laura says maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So let me now know, guys, in the chat. To kind of sum it up, we figured out that if we put that's wrong. If we put anything into the public, we can load it as is, but it doesn't have any of the benefits, or cannot have any benefits of of Meteor. Plus, you also have to do the .html because it's everything is treated there as a image. Now, if you want to have just like one simple or like a few easy static pages, then it's perfect. It will serve them very fast. Anything you put into client will kind of get mushed together into a single page application. I think that's maybe something that we can in the future in Meteor change, but really it's not a priority because usually you're going to use some sort of a front end for that. Then we looked at the server, figure out that we can, let's actually see if we can see if we get this error here. No longer there. So if we go here now to about, it's going to return that. If you go to the HTML, it will return it from the public folder. So that's how it goes. So you can use the handlers or from web app. You can then use templates like Puck to render things even further. But really what you want the handler used to use is like API endpoints like RSS feed, XML, and so on. Kind of more of like a data than anything nice looking. If you go though, if you still manage like to do the HTML, you can use Meteor server render and do this then through sync. You can do render into element by ID. You can render some data. So if you have a simple or like one page static page with some little things rendered from server that you maybe get from the database or something else, then you can do it through this rendering to element by ID. So that could work. I might actually consider this for running cron jobs, and then I can have. So I have like a just Meteor application that runs the cron jobs, connects to the database, does this thing, and I can then have this front end where I can have just like a landing page with some information that I can use for something. So if somebody comes here, or I can use we can use here Express, okay, web app, or even on the page that we saw, there's option to redirect, so that we can just redirect them away from this server if they somehow manage to find it. So that's in summary that, and then the benefit is that we revive my old pull request to kind of make things for the package that kind of does this static rendering that's base of many other rendering packages, like I think for React as well and so on, lighter by removing a lot of Blaze packages that aren't really used because there's like only one thing that was used in there. So I've moved that into its own package and made it its own, so it doesn't require the additional things through dependencies, because there was a lot of other stuff for Blaze that's of course not needed here. So hopefully that will get also merged, and which would make, I would say, potentially a few milliseconds faster, or at least maybe even the bundle might be smaller. I think there can be some speed improvements in general, just because you don't have to load so many things. And yeah, that's it. Let's see, what do we have coming next week? Yes, I do remember now. We'll be looking at revisiting the Mantra application architecture for today's Meteor.js, kind of related to what I did last week for Meteor generators, where I discovered that sadly we cannot use the generators as I was thinking for Mantra, only partially. So I will be looking at what is Mantra, how can we adapt it for today's Meteor application, all that stuff. So that's cool. Once again, reminder here, you can see the link. You can sponsor me on GitHub if you want to do me uh, more of open source work, these streams, and support me on my journey to Open Source Summit Japan, where I will be talking about Meteor and its journey through time and what can you learn about it, and many other application. If you want, of course, to kind of dig into my brain, you can go to mycall.com/storyteller, where you can schedule a consultation with me. By the way, if you become a sponsor, you will get a discount on the consultations. And stay tuned, because later this week I'm planning to announce another, I would say, new and exciting option that can also support me, but also will be super beneficial for companies, especially those that are more growing with Meteor. So stay tuned for that. I'm just doing some fine tuning on the last details. Let me actually check if the issue I was having finally on my website is gone, or if it's still there. Yes, it's gone. So I have now my Japan site, which kind of has the basic information. More is to come. It's just that with all my other work, it's quite difficult to put things in, but it's coming. It's going to be there. Let me again share a little bit how it looks right now. So this is it, and I will be making sure it's much prettier. This is, as you can see, it's my design, so it's not really pretty. So that's it. And next week also will be determining what will be the few remaining remaining episodes I do before Japan. Last question here for the link to Mantra. It is, I believe, it should be in the description for that next video, if I did my job properly. No, I did not. So let me fix that, and let's do that. Here we go. I'll send it in the posts here, and I'll add it to the description, so it's available there as well. But with that, that is it for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I hope that I will see more of you as new sponsors, so we can have more interesting, chats one-on-one and so on. Or maybe I'll see you on a call. So once again, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. And if not earlier, I will see you hopefully on Friday with another episodes of Meteor Dispatches, where I believe Laurie is also going to be present from the weekend team. So see you there, guys, and see you also around.